If you're anything like me, you're a major skeptic of concept cars, but this is different because this is the Neue Klasse, and it is going to be every BMW from 2025. So if you've read the title of this video, you're gonna be wondering, how could this car be coming out in 15 months and 4 weeks? It's wild and it's clearly a concept car. Well, we can only speculate, but from everything I'm hearing, this car right here is going to be available in literally a year and a half, which is really radical, especially because they're going for a sedan first. What sane car company releases a sedan over an SUV? I'm not complaining. So a good question is, what the hell is Neue Klasse? I think we can decipher, our English speakers, that means new class. What does it actually mean? So this is BMW's new design language. Just like Mazda has the Kodo design language, this is massive because what this means is that this car right here is going to really be the foundation for every new car from 2025. And by the way, they're going to be releasing 6 all new models from 2025 within 24 months, which is insane. BMW are going to be really upping their game. Really, the whole concept is about this idea of circularity. It's about, you know, being responsible from designing the car to the end of life of that car. Having spoken to the designer of the Neue Klasse, what they're trying to do is really simplify everything. It's exactly what we've seen with Mini. And by the way, while I've been here in Munich, I have checked out all of the new Minis coming out. So if you want to watch that, go click the link in the description below. I'll put it under that like button. But Neue Klasse, as they were saying, and yeah, I know it's wanky, I get it, but it's all about that new design language. What do people actually want? And it was super interesting hearing all of their rationale. Like it's not just about the person anymore. They also want to consider what society thinks about the car, which is probably a little bit more controversial. What's really interesting though is that they've left it open as electrified. Every new car built on this new platform is actually going to be electrified in some sort of way, but that doesn't mean that every new car is going to be battery electric only. It just means that some will have a mild hybrid or a full hybrid or a plug-in hybrid, some even hydrogen. So yeah, Neue Klasse is really the new design language. It's their new design philosophy. But this car that you see right now, that will be released in some form. It looks like not too much will change from this car. So maybe let's talk about this concept car, the Neue Klasse. Some people are calling it the 3 Series. It's not a 3 Series replacement, not at all. It will actually be complementary to the 3 Series, and the new 3 Series, whatever the hell that is going to be designed based on this new design philosophy. So they're adding more sedans, but you can see up front it's pretty radical. They're getting rid of the classic kidney grille and instead they're replacing it with like a shark nose, but it's still pretty distinctive as kidney grills. I think it looks really, really cool. Also what they're trying to do, and they've been doing it recently with all of their new cars, is that they're reducing all of the chrome and they're replacing it with lights. You'll also see that it's still very minimalist. There's not much going on, but it's still very distinctively a BMW. But then you look at the bum on it as well, and it's got that like matrix LED lights at the rear that kind of just glow and change shape. Same with like the shark nose up front, or grill, whatever the hell they're calling it. Yeah, it's looking really, really cool. When I saw it in person, when it first rolled out of the, you know, the very extra unveiling, I just thought, yeah, I could see myself driving that. The interior space as well, this is debuting some really cool new tech that they say is going to be coming into their cars from 2025, which is unreal. They're really harping on about the new age of iDrive. So it looks like they're going back to the iDrive naming. They dropped that for a while, they went to operating system. Anyway, back to iDrive, and I mean, look, there's no demo of it. It's just kind of a static display, but it looked pretty cool. Definitely a huge departure away from what they've got at the moment. Massive departure. But that excites me less than the e-ink display that's at the bottom of the windscreen. Essentially what they're doing is a heads-up display for everyone in the car. It's fascinating, you know, from one angle you can see it on the inside. It's a really cool display. It's supposed to show a bunch of different information, your speed, weather, really very customizable, that's what they're saying. But then you look at it from the windscreen and you can't see it. They're using a color e-ink technology to be able to get it there, so that will mean it has pretty low refresh rate, but it will have amazing viewing angles, so really anyone in the car can see that, which is actually pretty awesome. And the other thing they're really trying to go for is minimalism on the interior. They're really trying to do that. I struggle to see how this will make it to production, to be honest. Like, you're not getting the corduroy seats that they've got in there, as cool as they are. I mean, please, BMW, if you can introduce those, do. But I think what they're trying to show is that you're getting a lot more space on the interior, even though it's a sedan. And let's just come back to that really quickly, because it's fascinating that a new car company is debuting a concept car as a sedan, a driver-oriented car, because obviously SUVs, they're higher off the ground, you know, they're more for utility, as in the name, sports utility vehicle. But a sedan, I love it. I really, really love it. And if it's anything like any other BMW out there, I reckon they're gonna nail the driving dynamics. Speaking of, Jacob on the website actually wrote a whole article when he interviewed the M Division chief, Frank Van Mil. And by the way, if you want to go read that article, you need to, because it's fascinating. What they're doing now is essentially across all cars, you have lots of different computers controlling parts individually, and then all of those inputs get kind of sent to a central computer called an ECU. In some cases, there are multiple of these ECUs, and there's just a lot going on. But what they are trying to introduce, they are dubbing the Hand of God. And yeah, that's a pretty intimidating name, but essentially what they want is for all of these inputs to go into a central computer that makes all of the decisions. Think a supercomputer. And if they can do that, if they can have one single computer that controls the entirety of the car, that means that they can control everything down to the most minute of details. And what that allows is for engineers to go in and make the best driving cars ever. When you combine that with some of these concepts that BMW are trying to bring out, like four-wheel motors, a motor at every single wheel, you can control each input like so perfectly that you have one of the best dynamic cars out there. At least that's the hypothesis, and that is what they're live testing. I've been seeing so many of these cars just muling around. A lot of these EVs. And so I'm super excited just by that tech. Again, you want to read more about that, you need to check out our website, carsauce.com, but I'll link it down below so you can find it a lot easier. I don't know, like there's some really cool ideas coming from this Neue Klasse. To be honest, I was really skeptical of the event. You know, all of these concept cars, they kind of just go over me. I forget about them, I care less. But BMW are saying that this is what is coming out in 15 months and 4 weeks. And you are going to see this current concept car, probably very similar to what it is now, in production that you can buy.